Alright, here we are with our scenes set up. As I said, we're gonna make a little bit of an extra adjustment here, and that is the tournament logo. So in general, you might have some content which you want to have on every or almost every scene. It could be like your own logo, it could be like the tournament logo, or maybe the logo of a game you're playing, or something like that. It is something which is repeated over several scenes, and whenever that happens, like our audio for example, right, then it is usually better to collect this in its own scene and then use that reference that scene in your other scenes. You could also go and have like the source somewhere and reference that source in the other scenes, but then you will have a hard time like finding that later, like, or if you want to remove it, you would have to still manually remove it from every scene. So it might be easier to have it all in a tidy place. So we're gonna create a new scene here. We call it tournament logo. You can write it like that. Okay, so this is a fresh empty scene. What we're going to do is, because if you're like an ambitious caster, you might be casting in several different leagues. You might be casting in Nexus Gaming Series, you might be casting in Heroes Launch, whatever is live right now. So you want to, usually these leagues, they want you to display their tournament logo to get the word of mouth out there, right? And it's just a nice thing for your viewers as well, so that they can check out this kind of league and play there the next time it goes online. So what we're going to do is we have an image source, and this will of course be our logo. So we're going to have one image source for every logo. So this is going to be NGS logo. And I have that already here. I think I'm going to pick the one with the circle. Here it is. And I just take it as it is and put it in the center. So Control D centers the thing, and I'm even gonna lock it. But this is not the only logo I'm gonna use. At other times I'm gonna use the Heroes Launch logo. So let's create that one as well. Where is it here? Heroes Launch logo big, and that's actually pretty big, and that's fine. It's always fine when it's big, because then you can scale it down and will not lose much quality. It's more problematic if they are too small and you want to scale them up, because then they become pixelated. So you want to have this like roughly the same height than the NGS logo. Again, hit Control D to center it. And it's just like sitting on top of the other right now. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna just select the one which we really want to show. I just have them all showing right now so that I can see that they are roughly the same size. And then I love to cast in the Sultan Distillery Invitational, and they also have their own logo. So let's get that one. I think it's in here. Here it is. So we're gonna move that one up here. Make sure it is roughly the same height. It doesn't have to be like completely exact, and Control D to center it. Okay, lock everything. And now what we're gonna do is we take the largest of these, and it looks like that is the Heroes Launch logo, and select only that one. Only show that one, hide the other ones. And now we want to add this logo in all our scenes. So a good place would be, for example, at the bottom and the center, or maybe in the top right corner or top left corner or whatever. So you just add a scene, and that is the tournament logo scene. Put it, it has to be on top of the overlay, otherwise it will not show. And you see it's pretty big, and that's fine. So the whole scene is as big as our whole canvas, right? So we can just make this smaller. Alright, and you can also go, and this might be easier if it's actually a little bit larger. You go and you crop it. So if you hold your Alt button down, if you hold your Alt button down, you can actually crop this logo. So you can cut out everything which is just empty space. I leave a little bit of space here around it, so that if the next logo I put in, like if there's like a new tournament coming up, I do not have to change everything. Like there's a chance that it's slightly bigger than the Heroes Launch logo, right? Although the Heroes Launch logo is already pretty big. So I give it a little bit of extra space, that's fine. And now I can move this down here, make it a little bit smaller, because this is the largest logo I'm using. If that one fits down here, everything else will fit down as well. So if you Control D, it centers in the middle. A fast way to get it down there again is go to Edit Transform, go to the second position, and just use your scroll up, scroll down buttons. So this makes larger jumps, and then you can use the up and down arrows to fine adjust it a little bit. And this looks about right. Close that. Looks good. Maybe you want like some actual background here. You can work on that by working on the logo, altering the image itself. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna copy the tournament logo now and paste it as a reference in here. We can also paste it as a reference in the draft, and we're gonna paste it as a reference into the game. But in the game here usually we show talents, so we want to move this a little bit over. So we again go to Edit Transform, go to the first position this time, use the scroll up, scroll down buttons, and then the up down arrows to fine adjust. And that looks about right. Maybe I even make sure that the border of the cropping window here is completely inside. Okay, we close that, lock it. So that is over here. When we are in the game, here we can paste as before again. Well, look, it will bounce a little bit into the stat screen, but I think that's fine. You don't need it on the panic screen because, I mean, we could include it, whatever, but I'm not going to do so. Alright, so now we have all these logos everywhere, and because they are referenced objects, it means if we are changing this now to NGS, so next day you're casting NGS, you open your OBS, and you just change this, hide the Heroes Launch logo, activate the NGS logo, and now you have the NGS logo everywhere instead. Next day you cast Sultan Distillery, now you have Sultan Distillery everywhere. Okay, so this is just one example of how you can get this content which spreads over multiple scenes, how you can control that easily, right? For another example would be my logo, right? As we had seen in the basic streaming one, I have here my logo, which I have on several scenes. In this case, I have here like one source for each of them, and if I want to change them, I would have to change them on each copy, or I would have to change them on one referenced object. I could instead, if I have them in here like this in our tournament logo, then what I need to do is I just change it here, and it will be updated everywhere. So it's like a single place where I know where to find it. Okay, so that concludes everything we need to do for our scene setup. So now on the next episode we're gonna use Soothsayer and see all the magic of it happening here in OBS.